All right, get ready because today we are going on a mouth-watering road trip across the entire country. We're not just tasting, we're digging into the amazing stories behind America's most iconic sandwiches. From the delis of New York all the way to the fields of Nebraska, we're about to find out that a sandwich is never, ever just a sandwich. So let's get into it.
I mean, just picture that for a second. The crunch of the roll, the savory beef, that gooey cheese. We're not talking about a quick, boring lunch here. No way. These are literally pieces of American history, served up on a roll. Each and every one tells a story about who we are and where we came from.
And that's really what this is all about. We're going to see how immigrant traditions came crashing together with local ingredients to create these legendary meals that are now, quintessentially American. It's a culinary road trip through the nation's history, one bite at a time. See, to really get it, you have to understand the context, right? A Philly cheesesteak wasn't just dreamt up one day. It was literally born from the industrial hunger of its city. And the Cuban sandwich, you can almost hear the rhythm of the bustling cigar factories in Florida where it got its start. Each sandwich is a perfect snapshot of a specific time and place.
Okay, so our first stop has to be the Mid-Atlantic. This is the region that really gave birth to American diner and deli culture as we know it. This is where sandwiches stopped being just a simple snack and became a full-blown iconic meal.
And you just can't start on the East Coast without talking about the Philly cheesesteak. The beauty of this thing is its simplicity. You've got that frizzled beef, that melted cheese, and yeah, a lot of the time is Cheez Whiz, don't knock it till you try it, all piled high into a super sturdy roll from a local Italian bakery. It was greasy, it was savory, and it was the perfect fuel for a hungry workforce. But get this, just a few hours away in western New York, you find a totally different beef sandwich, the beef on weck. And this shows you just how much regional immigrant influence matters. So instead of an Italian roll, you've got this German Kümmelweck roll, topped with coarse salt and caraway seeds. And instead of frizzled steak, it's packed with hearty roast beef. So you've got two amazing beef sandwiches, both with completely different European roots.
All right, now let's talk about an absolute institution, the Jewish deli. This style, brought to America by Ashkenazi immigrants, is famous for these massive sandwiches, just piled ridiculously high with cured meats like pastrami or corned beef. And the whole tradition is shaped by kosher rules, which, by the way, is why you will never see cheese on a traditional pastrami on rye sandwich. This tradition gave us the timeless classic bagel and lox, with that distinctively chewy bagel that gets its amazing texture from being boiled first and then baked. But the tradition also evolved, Way out in Los Angeles, diner culture and deli culture just collided. And what came out of it? The pastrami burger. It's a beef patty, topped with a huge heap of hot pastrami and Swiss cheese. A totally brilliant fusion.
Speaking of burgers, this brings us to our next chapter. Now, you might think the hamburger is totally in a category of its own, right? Well, its history is actually deeply, deeply rooted in the world of sandwiches. It's the classic debate, isn't it? Everybody's argued about this at some point, so let's just settle it once and for all. Is a hamburger really a sandwich?
And the answer is a definitive yes, historically anyway. The most common origin story puts its creation in the year 1900, where it was served and explicitly called a hamburger sandwich. It only dropped the sandwich part from its name later on as it became this massive cultural phenomenon all by itself.
And if you need proof of its sandwich DNA, look no further than its most brilliant evolution, the patty melt. I mean, come on. It's the perfect hybrid of a cheeseburger and a grilled cheese. You swap out the bun for some buttery rye bread, you add that beef patty, some sweet caramelized onions and Swiss cheese, and then you press the whole thing on a griddle until it's golden. It is pure diner genius.
Okay, let's get back on the road. We're heading to totally different parts of the country now, where the landscape and, of course, the immigrant stories created some entirely unique sandwich styles that you won't find anywhere else.
Welcome to Florida, folks, home of the unofficial state sandwich, the Cuban. This thing is a masterpiece of flavor and texture. You've got savory roasted pork and ham, the tang from the pickles and mustard, and that nutty Swiss cheese, all pressed together on that one-of-a-kind Cuban bread. It was born in the cigar factories, a perfect, hearty lunch for the workers there.
Now, let's make a big jump from the coast right to the heart of the Great Plains, Nebraska. And here, Russian-German immigrants had a completely different idea of what a sandwich could be. They didn't put their filling between bread, they baked it right inside the bread. The result is the runza, a yeast dough pocket stuffed with ground beef, cabbage, and onions. Its form is all about function. It was literally designed to be a portable, one-handed meal for farmers working out in the fields. So from Philly to Nebraska, from delis to diners, what have we seen? We've seen how every single one of these sandwiches has its own amazing story. And when you put all those stories together, they tell a much, much bigger story about the country itself.
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this simple formula right here. You have immigrant traditions meeting local American ingredients, and out of that beautiful fusion, brand new classics were born. When you think about it, the American sandwich isn't just a metaphor for the melting pot. It is the melting pot, served on a roll.
From the greasy, perfect cheesesteak to the pressed and tangy Cuban to the humble runza-pocket, each one represents a unique piece of our shared culinary heritage. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Which one of these iconic sandwiches is your absolute favorite, and what story does it tell you?